lap and she just fucking sits there. Like, I'm talking about my cat, listeners. I have a cat. I have 5 cats, but one of them always sits in my lap. I can't sit down without a cat being on my lap. Welcome to episode 151 of Seddy Bimco, America's foremost revenge-driven podcast.
Part 2, the revenge.
Part 2, the revenge. Yes, that's important for branding. We make sequels to movies that never had any. We're in the middle, and not by in the middle, we're nearly at the end of our tour of the 50 nifty United States, and we do a movie for each state. This movie was ostensibly for Wyoming. We're doing 1989's Can't Believe It Was So Late. Ghosts Can't Do It. My choice, so I take blame for this.
12 years after Star Wars changed the world.
Oh, you did the math.
This came out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the song and let me ask you my age-old question about revenge.
Everybody's favorite part of Seddy Bimco.
Did Jesus ever get revenge on the apostles for sealing him in a cave after he died along with his cat?
Was the cat on his lap?
It started there, but...
Tim, am I Jesus?
You could be.
Maybe.
Did you wake up 3 days later with a litter box that was a nightmare to clean up?
Tim, I wake up every morning with the light box, with the litter box that's a nightmare to clean up. I have 5 cats.
It's Seddy Bimco Part 2, The Revenge. The show where we create revenge sequels that nobody wanted.
That's the moment that's the moment he actually said his catchphrase. He said, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" So
that's weird. He named his cat Father.
Seddy Bimco.
Seddy Bimco.
Part 2, the revenge.
Part 2, the revenge.
We're here again after a little 1 week off.
1 week off
for spring break.
Was that why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because Cablasto showed up drunk again.
That too.
Well, let's do some housekeeping, Tim.
Housekeeping.
How goes our ongoing battle with Bat and Spider? Have they given
submission.
Up yet? Yes. They gave up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We can move on. We can have a war with like Conan O'Brien or something.
No, he's very long. We can't match him. I don't know. Maybe we should.
He's very long.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that guy? He's like 8 foot tall.
Yeah, he is.
He's got the reach on us. What I'm saying, if it comes down to a fight, like, we could take Chuck and Dale because if we wait 5 minutes, they'll probably fall asleep. We could sneak out while they're asleep. Conan O'Brien, I mean, that guy, he's got energy, he's got spunk, and like he could hit us from across the room, and we wouldn't be. He would hit us 90 times if we even got close to him. We can't.
And he's a ginger.
I say we keep fighting with Battens, and he's a ginger, so he has the strength of the devil.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, we're a good podcast.
No, that was good.
Yep. That's what I said. I don't know why you're disagreeing with me, Tim. I said we're good.
There's nothing.
Tim,
what?
Do you somehow think we're not a good podcast?
No, we're one of the best.
Okay.
Number 6 in comedy on Good Pods.
Wow. And there's only 4 podcasts on Good Pods, so
I suspect
troubling. Yeah. Tim, I was just earlier today. I don't want to say where because you've committed some deeds there that are legally suspect to say the least, but while with my wife and
England?
I and England, yes. Well, we know you've done terrible things in England. My wife and I, her friend from out of town, is visiting with her 2 sons, and we took dinner in your neighborhood. No, lunch, and then we walked around a certain park that you make visits to quite often.
You saw all my mice.
Your dog.
We were like, oh my God, the mice. Because I used to release the mice I caught there, by the way.
For those of you who don't know, my co-host, Tim, had a vermin problem for a while where he was live catching and releasing mice at a pretty frightening amount.
Like 17.
He would release them into this local park, 17 mice. He'd release them to this local park where they would immediately either run up a tree, which is terrifying, or plummet off a embankment to their doom, presumably.
5 feet.
Tim, it was like Secret of Nim over there. I saw these mice running like electric cords and stuff into this bush, and like I felt like they were super intelligent beings, maybe going to take over.
Well, that's my mice. I taught them well.
That's your doing. Yeah, it's all going according to plan.
If I didn't teach them well, they'd get a ride with some guy saying, "Hey, I'm an Uber driver. Hop in."
Oh, but he wasn't really an Uber
No.
driver, was he? He was a Lyft driver.
Yes, he was.
That was awkward. Yeah, they're like, oh, we're a good podcast.
It's actually Eric Trump. He's always out trying to corral mice into
Eric
his car.
Trump! It's funny you mention Eric Trump because we just might have to mention somebody who maybe jizzed out that guy.
I'm calling, for purposes of this episode, I'm calling him orange painted turd.
I'm calling him various bad names too. But you know what, listeners? If you think about it, you could probably figure out who we're speaking of. Before we get into the movie, which, as I said, is 1989's Ghosts Can't Do It. What is it? It's probably what you're thinking of. Should we talk about Wyoming?
How many people live there, George? Hit me with it.
Well, Tim, let me go down the whole list of facts. To Wyoming is the 44th state. It joined the Union in 1890. Its capital and largest city is Cheyenne. Tim, are you ready for this? In answer to your question,
Cheyenne? Was it when? Yeah. What?
You tell me. No, go on. Go with you. What are you going to say? Whenever you interrupt, it's solid gold. Let's hear what it was. What was it going to be?
I thought you were going to talk about The Shining.
No.
The Cheyenne.
No. See,
The
I
Cheyenne.
have more than you. Only have like room in your brain for like 10 references. You're like shining. That's the same thing. No, this is the fact. Population. Tim, roll out a special theme song for this because we've been going through all these 50 states. We keep hearing about states that have very little population and how it's second to least population and stuff. This state, Wyoming, is the least populous state in the entire United States.
Oh, I did not know that.
There are less people living in Wyoming than live in Washington, D.C., which is only like a mile across. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still, yeah. The population of the entirety of Wyoming is about 576,000 people, which is less people than live in my house.
Yes.
Yeah. There's so few people in Wyoming that the telephone area code, there's only one for the entire state.
Oh, I thought come on.
No, that's really true.
This joke's going to be good.
No, this isn't a joke. I'm just telling true stuff.
It's small. The zip code is only 3 numbers. I don't know.
Who wants to tell Tim that the area codes are always 3 numbers?
Oh, area codes. Sorry.
Tim,
zip
Tim,
code
you've
was
never
in my
actually.
head, George.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, phones. Who knows phones? You're talking about
phones? Who knows
phones?
what phones are?
That's an old reference.
Yeah, it's one you would make because you'd be like Alexander Graham Bell, Watson, come here, other old things.
Did you ever get this message that goes, doo, 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 the number you've reached has been disconnected?
Yep.
Okay. No one knows that today.
No. Well, nobody who listens to our show because, Tim, no one listens to our show. So we can make any statement.
I'm blanking.
No one's ever heard this phrase before. Hi, how you doing? Nobody listens to our show's ever heard that because no one listens to our show.
The lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's his name?
I'm not going to tell you because I want to hear you do your Mr. Do you remember his last name?
Mr. Chili Peppers.
Mr. Kiedis.
Doesn't matter now. The girl he's dating.
This is what
she's like. What's a telephone? No, I don't get that.
For those of you keeping track, this is one of Tim's 10 references this week. We got The Shining in. Yes. We have Anthony Kiedis dates really young women. What will the other 8 be? We'll see. The new nicknames, they're all new. So it's a new Tim Hamilton. We didn't introduce ourselves. I'm George O'Connor. This is Tim Hamilton. We're cartoonists. Yeah.
Comics, cartoonists.
Nicknames of Wyoming.
Okay.
It's the Equality State. That's its official nickname. And that's because it was the first state to have a female governor. She was appointed, not elected, but still. And it was the first state to allow women to vote.
Well, that's nice.
After New Jersey, which apparently did allow women to vote, then took it away and then gave it back again.
Wow.
It's also known as the Cowboy State. And weirdly as Big Wyoming, which would seem to indicate there's a small Wyoming, but it's just as Big Wyoming. It's also nicknames for it. Instead of Wyoming, it's Why Nodding and Why I Oughta-ing. Yeah, it sucked.
That's a good one. Why?
It's Why I Oughta-ing.
Yeah.
It's home to Grand Teton National Park, which you probably heard, and a largest chunk of Yellowstone. And, normally I have more facts than this. And I have, as always, I close out the elevator, streetcar, encrypted. But, it's pretty funny. Nope. When you look up fun facts in Wyoming,
no cryptid.
There's just nothing. Oh, I have that stuff. Should I tell it?
Sure. If it's
all right. Oldest operating elevator in Wyoming. I couldn't find the first one. Is in Cheyenne. It's in 1907. It's in a building called the Majestic Building. Allegedly, according to the article I read, It is the oldest operating elevator west of the Mississippi. I feel like 1907, that doesn't make sense. We've probably heard more earlier in the show, but we'll see.
I think all these states like to brag about having the first elevator.
I think they do, but here's something that's even more crazy I think you'll appreciate. According to the Cowboy State Daily website, there's only 2 escalators in the entirety of Wyoming. There used to be 3.
Why is this in the Cowboy?
Because they're called the Cowboy State. If you remember, that's their nickname.
They see this on what? Cowboy website?
The website is called the Cowboy State Daily website.
Oh, I see.
Cowboy State being a nickname for Wyoming. So just think of Wyoming Daily website. But there's, Tim, the entire state, there's only 2 escalators.
Well,
up until 2002, there was 3. There was 1 in a JCPenney, but they knocked that JCPenney down.
What are these in? You don't know?
One, I read it were in malls. One was in a place called Casper, and I feel like the other one was in Cheyenne.
It was in a 2-story Kentucky Fried Chicken in Cheyenne.
Oh, okay, Tim, you've been there, right?
Yes, chicken upstairs, mashed potatoes down.
Yeah, you're like, this is very inconvenient. They're like, take the escalator, sir. The first streetcar was an electric streetcar in about approximately 1919. Their records are incomplete in Cheyenne. The cryptid I'm kind of excited about. There's 2 cryptids I'm going to talk about. The jackalope. You've all seen this. If you ever traveled across this country, it's a taxonomy. Is that the word?
When you put different animals together and you create like an Eric Trump. Yeah, I don't know what that's called.
Eric Trump. Yeah, it's called a Trumpism. You take a dead stuffed jackrabbit and then you stick antlers on. It's a jackalope.
Yeah.
But the one I'm really excited about is for years the native peoples had tales of these creatures called the Namaragar, who are these little tiny people that would run out and stab you, and they're very violent. Then in 1907, they discovered the Pedro Mountain mummy. They were blowing up part of a mountain. This is true. Everybody home who's not listening, because nobody listens, look up Pedro Mountain Mummy. Tim, you should look it up too.
Pedro Mountain Mummy? Mummy.
Yeah, I misspoke. It's a little tiny preserved person that they blew up in a chamber in a mountain and found this like mummy of this person who's only like a few inches tall and looks so freaking weird. And people still like the original Pedro Mountain mummy has been lost.
Of course.
But there's some pretty good photos and x-rays of it. Smithsonian took it. Tim, look it up. I want you to look it up and just look at the pictures of that little fucker.
Oh.
That's weird, right?
Him. He's in a glass jar.
Well, yeah, there's better pictures if you click on the actual image link, because like that picture, like okay, yeah. You see the little dude, he's got his arms crossed, he's got this weird little head and these big
He's like Yoda.
Yeah, he does look like Yoda.
I see an X-ray, he's got a skeleton.
Right? So here's the thing. They're not really sure what it is because the original one's lost. Now, the current theory is that it's like maybe a deformed baby, because it's about a baby size, that like the top of its head was missing. But like, I don't know. It's weird. So I don't know. Put this in the category of why the hell not? Yeah, let's say it's real. It's a Namaragar. That's all I got for Wyoming.
That is a Namaragar they found.
That's a satisfying word to say too. I challenge you all to say it. Namaragar.
I've been thinking about the zip code since I thought that's what you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
So thought of a joke for it.
Okay.
There's so few people in Wyoming.
Yeah, Tim.
That the zip code has more figures than people. Zip code. That's, I don't know.
Workshop it. You're getting there.
I got to workshop it.
There's more digits in the zip code than there are people in Wyoming. How about that?
Yeah. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Oh, and our weird laws.
We're a good podcast. Yep, weird laws. Let's hear them.
Ooh, there's a good one. Because, and I'll explain.
Yep.
Firearm fishing. Using a firearm for fishing is prohibited.
Oh my God, Boggy Creek. Listen to our past episodes, everybody.
There was a man in that movie who said he shot his foot off in a fishing accident. So I guess he went on a trip to Wyoming.
Tim, it wasn't even fishing. It was boating, remember? That's even more tragic.
So,
like, at least fishing, okay, ostensibly you can be shooting fish.
Yeah, well, he must have been fishing. Now we know. He's why that law exists, maybe. Took a trip to Wyoming. Junk dealers and drunk people. Junk dealers are prohibited from doing business with a person who is drunk.
Oh, man, somebody bought something they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Somebody who is important bought something they shouldn't have.
Wow, you think so? Like that?
I think it was the mayor. Maybe it was that first lady governor.
He came home with one of those.
She woke.
Huh? Yeah.
Maybe that first lady governor. She like came home after like being like a bottomless mimosa brunch, and she's like, "Why did I buy so many jackalopes?"
Right.
Tying it all together.
And it was once illegal to take photographs of rabbits from January until April. So.
I bet you, Tim. Do you think it's when rabbits fuck? Is that rabbit mating season? Like old man Jenkins was like, yeah, show me your little cottontail bobbing up and down. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
That's pretty good. You've been trying. I know from listening to other episodes, you try to find weird sleeping laws. There was nothing. No, I think it's because there's not enough people in Wyoming to sleep.
They take turns.
All right. Anything else about Wyoming? You want to talk about the state
flag.
seal or the flag? Yeah.
It's got a buffalo image with some men inset on the buffalo, like a cowboy and a guy with a pick and a lady justice. So it's pretty boring.
Is the lady justice topless?
Nope, I noticed that. She's got both breasts covered. Unlike
God, so she's
you
not.
You weren't here for like which one was it? Virginia. It was like a lady showing her boob, stepping on a guy, knocking his crown off.
Fuck yeah, that's the way to do it. Way to go, Virginia.
So it was just boring.
So should we talk about the movie?
The movie.
This movie.
It's Bo Derek.
Yeah. Tim, have you ever seen a Bo Derek movie before?
I think at one time I finally saw 10 because when I was a child, just the age where I wasn't allowed to go, that was a big deal. It's like, 10.
Yeah.
Ooh, 10. And later in life, I think I just saw it. Like, I didn't really even care then, but I can't.
You never saw Tarzan and the Ape Man?
Oh, yeah.
That's been my previous experience with her.
That's right. That's from like 84 something? 83?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's got to be before this because that was also directed by John Derek, her husband. And this is the last film they did because he died in 88. So like this was the last thing he did before he died. This movie came in 89.
I always feel bad for her. Unless she wanted to. It's just she kind of made a splash with 10. And after that, it's like, oh, is Bo Derek naked in another movie? It's like nobody, I can't think of people.
Was she naked in 10? Wasn't that with like Dudley Moore?
Yeah.
Tim, you said you saw it. You'd remember.
But yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm sad for her. Her movies are not good, really, right? I forget Tarzan the Ape Man.
Tarzan the Ape Man is definitely not good.
Okay.
The weird thing about her is I feel like with Tarzan the Ape Man being the other movie I've seen, like both of those movies have very famous co-stars. Mm-hmm. In that movie, she's with Richard Harris. And in this one, she's with Anthony Quinn. So like they would get these like pretty legendary actors. Yep. Although it could be argued that Anthony Quinn was really not acting with her very much in this movie.
No, we'll get to it. But
also in this, so I did do some research about the whole John Derek of it, and I discovered some stuff that is interesting that maybe informs. Yeah, it's not good. Interesting was a polite way of saying it. I don't know why. That I think informs a lot of this movie. I'll probably sprinkle this in. Let's just say the movie is Bo Derek. Surprise for a movie that you see Bo Derek naked a lot. If you ever want to see Bo Derek naked, watch this movie. But for a movie with like a lot of nudity and stuff, like it's really boring.
Yep.
And the plot, because we like to give little synopses, is
do your synopsis.
I didn't look one up, so I'm just going to make it off the top of my head. Are you ready? Yeah, it's Bo Derek is a recently widowed woman. Her billionaire husband dies, but stays on as a ghost. And then the two of them plot together on how to resurrect him by having him possess the body of a new person. Yep, that's it.
It's kind of a super silly Hellraiser, right? It wasn't Hellraiser. This lady wanted her husband.
Oh my God,
back.
You're right. Yeah, I was thinking Ghost, but you're right. It is Hellraiser. That's better. And last film by John Derek, the husband of Bo Derek. It's also got Anthony Quinn as the billionaire husband.
His name's Scott in the movie. And her name is Katie.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say Bo Derek and Anthony Quinn, Tim.
Well, Scott
and Julie Newmar's in it.
She is.
Yep, for like 2 minutes.
And not in a judging gross way. But in the gross way that Hollywood does this, Anthony Quinn He says in this movie he's 50, but I looked it up. He was 74.
Oh, wait. No, he says he met her when she was 50.
Oh, well, he's 74.
They've been married for years. Yeah.
And Bo Derek looks like she could be 30. I mean, she looks so good. I don't know how old she was. And so it's just gross Hollywood, like old.
Here, I'm gonna bring up the upsetting stuff. Are you ready for it?
Oh, we're going to go through it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it now because you brought it up what I was going to talk about. Well, the John Derekness of it.
Oh.
So John Derek met Bo Derek. She's his fourth wife. Mm-hmm. He was like kind of a minor actor back in like the 20s or 30s or something.
Yeah, I looked him up.
He looks like a more handsome Clark Gable. Like he was a really good looking guy. But when he was a much older man with about a 30 to 40 year age difference, he was directing a film in Europe where Bo Derek had a minor part in it. She was 16.
Eesh. Yeah.
Yeah, and they started dating, and they stayed in Europe until she was 18 because then they didn't have to worry about statutory rape, and then they moved to the United States, and I forgot what her original name was, but it wasn't Bo Derek. It was like Edna J. Fernbugle or something.
Wow.
And so
that's why this movie's like this.
This is what this movie, and I've never seen the John Derek, Bo Derek movie, Bolero, but I remember quite vividly reading a synopsis in my mom's Playboy magazine, not Playboy, People magazine when I was a kid, where it would make more sense. Well, I was excited because this picture in People, it showed a lot of skin. I was like, what is this?
You're so excited. It's Playboy People magazine.
This was the closest we got to anything like that in my house. Sometimes People magazine would have like some cheesecake photos, but it was a picture of this young man laying atop Bo Derek. And apparently the movie, or at least part of the movie, was about he was a bullfighter who gets gored fighting a bull and he can't achieve erections anymore.
Wow.
And this movie is about an old guy who has a heart attack in the opening seconds of the film and can't get erections anymore.
Wow. That synopsis was in People?
Yeah, they said it in a way that like even dumb little George was able to get the fact that he couldn't. I read a lot of Greek myths. I knew the words to describe when somebody was impotent. They probably said impotent. So I feel like reading behind, like John Derek was a much older guy who had this much younger wife, who he literally groomed since childhood, and he probably couldn't get a boner anymore. So he made weird movies where she would, for various reasons, be having relations with younger guys, and he'd be watching. They're going like, "Yeah, I'm John Derek. Oh, I'm dying."
Older guys.
Well, older guys and younger guys. That's the thing. Like this one, the ghost, like Anthony Quinn dies immediately. Then she's with. Well,
we'll get to.
Did you read the Wikipedia of this?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't very informative.
It was completely wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, I'll address that at the end too. Okay, so the movie starts off. We just see
George.
Yeah. Yep.
That when you saw that People magazine, did that spread prevent you from doing the crossword puzzle, the People crossword puzzle that time?
Instead I took a piece of tracing paper and I put it over and I drew like, what if she didn't have anything on it? Then my parents walked in and I was shamed.
So. We just talked about how the big age difference there is, George.
Yep.
That's my first list.
Okay, do your list. Why not?
Their age difference is so great. It's that thing. You don't have to say it. How great is it?
How great is it? I'm going to do it anyway. How great is it?
It's so great. Remember their names are Katie and Scott.
Remember their names are Bo Derek and Anthony Quinn. Yes.
Scott had to constantly remind Katie not to open the door for that dark figure with the scythe who was always ringing the doorbell.
Was that Skeletor?
Yep.
He was visiting from previous Seddy Bimco film, Masters of the Universe?
He was.
Wow, that's cool.
Their age difference was so big. She often asked Scott.
How big was it?
He asked Scott how old those ladies are in those Playboy magazines you own. How those old ladies.
Wait, Tim, is that the joke?
She asked who those old ladies are in the Playboy magazines. He asked.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Wait, what's the joke?
The ladies are so old in those magazines. I don't know.
Is it because these are old magazines, and or is it, or she's looking at them? She's so young that she sees the 23-year-old in Playboy magazine. Goes, that person's old.
That's the one. Yep. There you go.
Okay. Even though you've already said very clearly that Bo Derek looks like she's at least in her 30s in this movie.
Yeah. Okay. Scratch that one. Yeah. When Katie and Scott have a heated argument, she often tells him she hates him, and she locks herself in a room and turns on her Quiet Riot album. Turns it all the way up to 11.
Wow.
Says
Spinal Tap reference.
I hate you.
Uh-huh.
No, Quiet Riot. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. 11. Yeah.
That's it.
That's a joke?
That was a bad list.
That was
my
a bad
joke.
list. Tim. Everybody.
Scott likes to daydream about the song he wished Paul McCartney made called Did You Still Love Me When I Was 64? There.
That's better. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't say you pulled it. I would say you stuck the landing at the end. But after you crashed into a fiery inferno, your third-degree burn-covered corpse was able to crawl out of the jet fuel, and we put you out, and you'll live.
I like the analogy.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. So the movie starts with this. What is it? Is it May, September, they say? I say this is more of like a May, like late December relationship.
It's Wyoming.
It's in Wyoming. And they're cowboying. They're on horses riding, and then Quinn jumps off his horse and he's like, I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And she says something I don't understand. It's just one of your goddamn thrills.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she meant, you thought she said frills?
Thrills.
Oh, I thought she said like one of your spells.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I didn't turn on the closed captioning yet. Because
Okay.
Anthony Quinn mumbles most of this.
He mumbles most of this film, and she speaks strangely as well. Luckily, his doctor's there, and his doctor gives him this like shot in his belly, so he survives. And she's saying, "You better not die, because I will not wear ugly black at the funeral." I'm like, "Blacks?"
He gave a big fuss. He's like, "Not in the stomach, not like those rabies shots." Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, he did say that. Did you get the feeling? I feel like Anthony Quinn, every bit of his dialogue was improvised.
I know, because he also said, "Yeah, we used to get these shots back when we managed that raccoon band, ironically called the Ruckus Raccoon Rabies Riot." Yeah.
Tim,
that's what he said. He was had living through this whole movie.
Yeah, and he said he must employ the same ad-libber you do. He wakes up in a hospital, and he's told by the doctor, "Well, you won't be playing King Kong anymore." And then he says something which I guess he goes, "What about my mouse?"
Oh no, he said, "What about Mighty Mouse?"
Mighty Mouse.
He mumbled a lot.
He did. Yeah. I clearly, folks, I was having a hard time. All right.
Because they're like, no. And he's like, what about Plastic Man?
Yeah. And they say, no. He goes, well, Mr. Fantastic, he's the smartest man on earth. They said, well, and then then they wondered who would win in a fight, Mr. Fantastic or the elongated man from the Justice League.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who.
I mean, Mr. Fantastic would beat the crap out of him.
Because he's smarter.
Yeah, he's smarter. Elongated man just has a wiggly nose. Anyway. And he finds out he's too old to get a transplant. Now,
well, you say
something I got off the Wikipedia and I didn't pick up from the mumbly dialogue is they say something here where he can't get boners anymore.
I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, and the Wikipedia, like I said, the Wikipedia is straight up wrong for part of this, so maybe it's not. But like the ghost can't do it is reference to sex.
That's what I thought.
He can't have sex anymore. So he ends up, well,
they tell him you can't. He's like, I'm just going to get a new heart. And the doctor says, well, you can't get them after 65.
Yep.
And he goes, what? It's like, that's what
he goes, who made up that rule? They go, I don't know, they're playing the odds. You're like, I'm like, yeah. I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense.
I just saw it in this movie, The Wizard of Oz. I can get a new heart.
I saw this movie, King Kong Lives. They made a giant titanium heart for the monkey. Then, even though he's told he can't, he's so close to death's door and he can't get a heart and he can't get erections anymore. He goes cross country skiing with Bo Derek, which seems like a really bad move. Mm-hmm. And then they're talking. Then he's drinking a beer and he's writing something from a fireplace. He keeps crumpled up and throwing in the fireplace. And then this is the best. This is what I knew we were dealing with a good movie. We cut to Bo Derek pulling up to their ski mountain chateau sort of thing in her truck. And she pulls in the driveway, and suddenly we hear like a gunshot noise. Mm-hmm. And she freeze frames in her face, turning her head. I'm like, he just fucking killed himself. Yep. And he was writing a suicide note. Mm-hmm. We get to see some of the suicide note. He's talking about cakes and shit. I don't know.
I said. He
wrote it?
Yeah. I said you were the cherry on my cake, but I was wrong. You're the cake. Yeah. And then I was wrong about that. You're the cream filling in the cake.
And then he said, I was wrong. It was actually just a pie. And then I was wrong about that. because pi is actually 3.14. And then, I'm sorry. Did I step in your joke?
No, because even inside the pie, you were the sugar running through my veins. You're the diabetes that killed my erection.
It all makes sense. And that's when Wilford Brimley came out and gave a high five. Yes. And then walked off, never to be seen again.
So
next thing we see, Anthony Quinn is in The Afterlife with Julie Newmar. And The Afterlife
Who's Julie Newmar, George?
Why, she was one of the many Catwomen on the original Batman 66 TV show.
I thought there was only two.
There was her, Eartha Kitt, and Lee Merriweather.
Okay. I didn't know it was the third one.
Yeah. And there's a fourth one, Holly Berry.
Yeah.
And a fifth one.
And he seems to forget Bo Derek right away because he saw the angel. He's like, hey, you're pretty hot. Angel.
I'm going to say, not to be a dick here, I do think Julie Newmar was hotter than Bo Derek.
Yeah, and age appropriate.
And more age appropriate. I mean, she's still, I don't think she was.
Because then he was like, ooh.
God, she was probably only in her 40s at that point. Yeah. Right?
I don't know how old she was on Batman.
She was 6.
Yeah, okay.
It was very controversial casting.
And Bo, by the way, I just got a note here. Bo Derek.
Yep.
She wore this awful hat that was like a white fox, had the face on it. Did you notice that?
Oh my God. This is at the funeral?
More than once. I don't think it was at the funeral. I think at the funeral she did wear black.
Well, let me finish up the afterlife thing. I just want to describe what the afterlife looks like to people. It's definitely Anthony Quinn sitting in a closet somewhere with like reflective lights being shown on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like clearly. So I have to confess, I chose this movie very last second as the Wyoming thing because it has multiple Wyoming filming locations.
It's great.
But a lot of this movie is definitely taking place in the Maldive Islands. Yeah. And so,
he's just in a studio the rest of the movie.
Anthony Quinn's definitely just hanging out in Wyoming.
They never do a ghost special effect where he's like standing in the room translucent or anything. It's just he's off camera the whole rest of the time.
No, it's just him kind of like at about like 80% opacity with like weird lights flashing on him.
Maybe he did get sick. I don't know. Or he was just like, hey,
I think he was sundowning. I think this dude, like the reason why he says stuff that makes no sense is like, they're like, well, good news is, Bo, we got Anthony Quinn. She's like, that's great. He's a legendary actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The bad news is he's suffering from horrible levels of dementia.
Might be.
We're going to lock him in a closet and we've captured Julie Newmar. We're going to have her try to talk to him.
He made it sad.
It is sad. So yeah, he's asking where God is, and she's like, well, you can't see God because you killed yourself. You know, that's a sin. And he goes, it wasn't a suicide, it was a mercy killing. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get a boner. And he does start hitting on the angel. The angel doesn't have wings. She has stupid butterfly wings on one of her wrists.
I know,
I'm like,
I was freaked out.
You cheap fucking back. That's creepy. I didn't like it, right? It's like she had butterflies extruding from her skin.
It's like she was sick.
Yeah. Man, do you think that's why she stopped being Catwoman? Is this your story? Keep your folks, remember, stick a butterfly pin in that one.
Yeah.
So then we see his weird funeral, which like I feel like there's a guy dressed up as a weird preacher. He's talking about buffalo. Bo Derek is dressed foolishly, and she starts at the funeral. She starts seeing the ghost of him. Mm-hmm. And like Tim said, there's never any special effect where the ghost is like, it's Bo Derek using her acting chops to stare into the middle distance and talk, and like everyone's like, "Are you having an episode, lady?" And she's like, "I still love you, Anthony Quinn." He's like, "You'll see me again."
Here's where I realized, because I read this is considered a comedy fantasy. I don't know if you saw that categorization.
No, but that comedy.
I know. I was like, no. I think they thought this was going to be funny. That she would. They're like, "Who are you talking to? You losing your marbles?"
And wait, she said that then at the funeral?
No, I'm saying I guess this is how they thought it would be funny because she's talking to someone and everybody's like, "Who are you talking to?" It's always funny when you like say to someone, "Oh, you got mental problems." That's hilarious.
Well, they do. Everyone does that, and I will give the movie this much credit. Like sometimes movies have that thing where the person's talking to someone telepathically in their head or like invisible, and nobody really seems to notice. Everyone immediately notices that she's always talking to someone who's not there. And they're all just kind of like, so a lot of the characters just accept it. Some of the characters think she's nuts. But at least they're noticing
It's
it.
because every male character after this is like, so I always loved you. What do you say? Anthony Quinn's dead.
So he's buried. Then we see her. She's laying in bed watching old videos of him, and she's talking to him. I wrote a note, man, this is dumb. Ugh. And he's like, you have to pick yourself up. And he tells her to stand up. He goes, titties out. I'm like, that's Anthony Quinn just being a pervert. That's why they have to lock him away. Yes. And he goes, you have to go to your favorite place without me. And I'm like, I assume he means Wyoming, but
obviously Wyoming is not her favorite place. She never goes back there until she has to.
So we cut to Bo Derek scuba diving, which is probably not Wyoming. And she comes on shore and Quinn's ghost is still talking to her. She's talking to herself. She says the titular line here. She goes, Jack. What? Jack. What's his name?
Jack.
What's his name? No, Anthony Quinn.
I
love you, but ghosts. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. She's like, sorry. I love you, and I want you to come back, but ghosts can't do it.
I missed like, that.
Oh, yeah, I was pretty excited. And then
because I think like, she was taking her clothes off for no reason at that point.
Oh yeah, she gets totally naked, and there's these dudes on a boat just watching her, and they're like, "Oh." So it's I think this is maybe the first time we see Bo Derek naked in this movie. Tim, why don't you describe what Bo Derek naked looks like?
I fainted.
You're like, I can't handle this much.
So put on that mink fox hat again. We left that behind. I wanted you to know how they made that. They got that hat. I guess you didn't notice how silly it looks. I hate hats that have animal faces on.
Huh?
It was a little fox.
What do you when you go to Disney World and somebody has like a Donald Duck hat? Do you hate that?
Yes. I hate he's not wearing any pants.
I love that he's not wearing any pants.
But they made that hat out of their pet fox.
Donald Duck fucks. Yeah.
They made that hat out of their pet fox that killed itself after seeing Katie and Scott make love. Because he was old and wrinkly. That's my joke. It's old. Okay. I'm gonna make fun of old people.
It is. I'm a little surprised. I know Anthony Quinn has a reputation of being kind of a sleazy guy. I think, right? I'm not making that up.
I really don't know much about him.
I'm really surprised there wasn't like they kill him off like in. They don't really even have a scene together. Like he dies in the opening. Oh no, he doesn't die. He lives a bit longer. But like we never do see them like laying in bed together. No, I'm surprised he wasn't like
the hospital. Remember, she like jumps in his lap and starts sucking on his lips. I was like, oof.
Oh, you're right. He even says suck my lip.
He's like,
but we never see.
Kiss me like a mother bird feeding her baby.
And then he regurgitates all those chewed up worms in her mouth. And she's like, "That's not what I meant."
It was gross.
I'm surprised we never see the two of them in bed together.
Yeah. Contracts.
So they're talking. She's talking to his ghost. She's all naked on the beach. These dudes are watching, and he's like, "There's stories of ghosts coming back in other bodies." And she's like, "Wait, so we could fuck that way? I don't know. That's kinky stuff. We've never been kinky," which is another great line.
Do you think this is where they thought it was supposed to be funny? Also,
I guess that was kind of. The thing is, these lines, if they were being read by an actor who was not Bo Derek and an actor who wasn't sundowning like Anthony Quinn, they could have been funny.
Who's better? You think if Pee Wee were the Scott character and who would be she be?
Miss Yvonne.
Miss Yvonne.
Yeah, she's just there naked. It's weird. We're like, this is strange for a Pee Wee Herman movie. What if how about this, Tim? What if Anthony Quinn is played by Luke Skywalker?
Okay.
And
Luke
Bo Derek. No, just Luke Skywalker. Okay. It's actually not Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. And Bo Derek is played by Princess Leia Organa.
Ooh, is he a Jedi ghost?
Yeah, because he can project himself like that. But he's all like, yeah, what if I possessed that Han Solo? Yeah. And then she's like, what if he possessed the Wookiee?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Do you think Chewbacca has a dick? So she's like, maybe we'll get a young guy and stuff. And then the young guy who's been watching yells to her, is like, you look very beautiful from here. And I wrote, guess he's the guy.
He can hear. They're out on the ocean. And he can hear her talking to herself. Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Sound travels better over water. Yeah, and she's naked the whole time too.
So he meets her later. She's eating, and he's totally like. Anyway, this is Fausto. Did we say his name? She meets Fausto.
Not yet. Well, next thing we cut to like this resort. She's still talking to herself, looking like a crazy person. Hilariously, the ghost of Anthony Quinn is now wearing a baseball hat for some reason.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he wasn't before. It's just because, again, Anthony Quinn just showed up. He's like, I want a hat today. Like, okay, sir.
Yes.
And like this guy who we learn later is the mayor of the island is talking about her. He's like, oh, sorry about Anthony Quinn's death. Yeah. And then the same young hot guy from the beach approaches. Fausto. We learn his name, Fausto. Fausto Garibaldi.
I'm just calling him Fausto, George.
I'm going to call him Fausto Garibaldi.
He's got no personality. Total, like, idiot. He's just like, ooh, saw you naked earlier. That was nice.
That was Something nice. Like I saw your boobs, and I saw your butt. And I saw your front butt, and then she slaps him twice and says goodnight. Pretty hard. So it's like slap, slap.
And he doesn't even feel it because
he's like a dinosaur. Like it takes him like 3 hours later. He was like, oh, because it finally reached his brain.
Yes. Does she have $300 million in pearls? I mean, million in pearls, not dollars.
I didn't get the pearls. I did something a little bit later.
That's what she has, pearls. Because this is silly. She's in her apartment talking to Ghost Anthony Quinn. Yeah. He's like, yeah, this is great. I think that's 300 million in pearls. And Fausto's at the window listening. Yep. So I guess Ghost Scott has no ghostly powers to
he's just an old man in a recording studio somewhere.
But he doesn't know. So Fausto's listening.
Fausto hears this and Fausto's like, and I'm like, guess he's gonna rob her. Next thing we see,
she's naked again. That's what I have here.
She's naked again. Yep, I wrote
taking a bath outside in a lightning storm.
In a weird rainstorm, and that's when Ghost Anthony Quinn tells her she's now worth, because she inherited everything upon his death. She's worth $2 billion.
Yep.
Tim.
Oh,
currency Kerner. Tim, what do you think $2 billion in 1989 has the spending power of today?
I'll say $3 billion.
I mean, you've made worse guesses. $5,146,483,870.97. Not enough to buy Twitter, but enough to be a real horrible monster.
You don't have to buy Twitter to be a monster, but it helps.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like. So Fausto's going to rob her, but she and Anthony Quinn's ghost decide they're going to kill Fausto and take his body, as he is an attractive but gross person.
No morals about this.
No. But I think that's why they have the scene where he's like, I'm going to rob him. They really didn't do anything with that for a long time because they're like, it's bad.
I had a weird cut here. Oh, yeah?
Oh, wait, really? What was your cut?
Well, I don't know if your movie had a couple weird cuts. She was taking a bath and suddenly it's a close-up of her outside talking to Fausto. I'm like, what happened? Yeah. Where'd Fausto come from? And Fausto is there with a tiny a Speedo, and he's just like, hey, here I am again.
It's called a banana hammock.
Banana hammock. Oh, George, remember my new section? Quiz time.
Oh, it was called Tim Shows Off His Banana Hammock?
No, it's quiz time. Multiple choice, George. What do you think was in Fausto's Speedo or banana hammock? Got 3 choices.
Okay, let's hear them.
A Big Mac.
All right.
A Quarter Pounder. Or Wendy's Saucy Nugs. That's actually
Wendy's Saucy Nugs.
That's on the menu.
Yep. That's got to be the Saucy Nugs.
Trick question, George. It was none of the above. He was just happy to see her.
Oh. Wow. What a bad show we have. Is that the only quiz?
That's the quiz.
All right. So it is possible that there was a sex scene cut out.
That's what I thought.
The thing that's weird, though, I watched this on Amazon Prime. I don't know where you watch this.
Oh, YouTube. So I saw.
Also, because there is so much nudity in this movie, I don't feel like they'd bother cutting out a sex scene because I don't think there'd be anything explicit.
I was surprised it was on YouTube.
Yeah. All the hypothetical kids that listen to our podcast are like, oh boy, Ma, I don't watch YouTube. There's a naked old lady on it. So she's hanging out with Fausto's. Quinn's watching. There is a funny line. Quinn's like, tell him to put on some skin lotion so he won't get skin cancer, which I thought was pretty funny.
Anthony Quinn at first is like, tell that guy to get away from you. Can't you see he's romancing you?
Yeah.
A lot of strange language in this movie.
Yeah, because again, Anthony Quinn writing his own dialogue.
Fausto seems to have no brain. He needs a brain, so I sense a theme to this movie. New heart.
Oh my God.
New brain.
Do you think there was that scene where there's a little person hanging in the background?
Right, it was.
Yeah. Okay.
We meet Winston at this point. He's not a big deal, but he's another old man, and he's another guy who's like, "Hey, you're single now, huh? Don't you know I always loved you?"
Well, I do want to mention
Winston.
that she does just straight up tell Fausto that like she's talking to her husband, and he's like,
right.
What do you talk about? Like, we're talking the quickest way for you to die. Very clearly telling Fausto she's going to kill him. Winston shows up.
But this is a joke. She's like, yeah, he doesn't believe me. At least I think they're trying for that.
And so Winston, who is like a close confidant of Anthony Quinn and her, he shows up and they do have a funny conversation where they're on a boat together. And he's like, well, he always did admire Hemingway, so it makes sense he killed himself like Hemingway did.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about other things he did like Hemingway, like he would put 6 toes on his cats, but I got nothing.
What happened?
Tim, I only had time because of plans. Only had time to write one list. We're coming up.
Likes to live in Florida like Hemingway.
Yeah, that's probably true. So, and so he goes, so here's the thing. Winston's like, you are now in charge of this $2 billion company. You got to travel around the world. You have to fight off people who are trying to make hostile takeovers. You got to show them you're in charge.
She's like, I just wasn't very good at business. She's like that.
It was, she's like, it was so boring to me.
Adding up dollars bills, figuring out how many quarters are in a dollar. I'm just a girl. That's basically what she was saying.
Essentially, she goes, math is hard, tee-hee.
Yes.
But luckily, Anthony Quinn will be with her so he could coach her. So the cut to what I assume is Hong Kong.
Yes.
And there's these two guys, and Bo, Derek, and Winston, and this fat, doughy piece of shit.
The orange turd.
This disgusting fucking... in case you forgot what this man looked like before the corruption was complete in his soul, he used to look like a Cabbage Patch Kid. He was all with like a wig on. It's just weird.
Yep.
And it's really him. In case you're wondering, I'm not going to say his name. I think
it's a cameo.
I think he did win a Raspberry Award, a Golden Razzie, for the worst supporting actor.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
and he's in this movie with Pillman, which we'll get to.
Well, he's in this movie as part of the hostile forces trying to take over this company. He's like being a fucking criminal. He's literally aligned with people who send a hitman after her later, which is all in keeping with what we've seen of this man as president.
And his line is terrible. He's like, this room's full
Did you write
of
it
people.
down?
No.
I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. Good.
There's a bit where he's like they're showing like what a badass these people are. There's these two like thugs guys, like a businessman, not thugs, but like close in on the fucking orange piece of shit. And he's like, in this room, there are knives sharp enough to cut you to the bone and hearts cold enough to eat you like hors d'oeuvres. Which Bo Derek says, you're too pretty for that. And he goes, you noticed?
Yeah.
Now, Tim, here's my list.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That was a line that he actually improv'd, as it turned out.
Ooh.
Just like a lot of the lines. It makes sense.
He's like
he
if
thought
Anthony
that was
Quinn
really
can do it, I can do it.
And they're like, how do you know what Anthony Quinn's doing in that closet? We locked him back in Wyoming. He's like, I have my ways. So here's a list of other things he said in alternate takes to Bo Derek, the orange fucking piece of shit. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1. And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks out in a minute. 1 minute. And there is a way we can do something like that. By injection inside or almost a cleaning. That was one thing he said. 2.
Obviously made up.
Gettysburg. What an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable... I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg. Wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. 3. And the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor. Did you ever notice that? No longer in favor. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general and they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys. But it was too late. Number 4 things this fucking orange piece of shit told the Bo Derek. You've worked so hard on these things. You've worked so hard on the kidney. Very special. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. Number 5 things he said to Bo Derek. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. This is just what's happening in our country. Number 6.
Oh my God.
I've said if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. Number 7. In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a united army out of the Revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named it after the great George Washington, commander-in-chief. Our army manned the air. It rammed the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rocket's red glare, it had nothing but victory. And number 8, by the way, those are all real verbatim fucking quotes.
I know.
Taken from this AP. Number 8. I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt smells, and I like to kiss my own butt. That's other things that the Golden Raspberry winning worst actor, piece of shit, can't believe he hasn't died yet. Those are things he actually said. That's my best list ever.
That was a good list.
Thank you.
I can't believe I didn't think of that. I'm jealous.
I can't believe Ghost and Spider didn't think of that either.
Nope.
But they're too busy sucking. What? Shots fired.
Shots fired at that other podcast. That and Spider.
Other podcast. Just like we're kicking down. It was like they're laying in the dirt, but like, guys, please stop picking on us so much. We know we're not as good as you, Seddy Bimco. And we like, shut up, Spat and Spider.
You know what they watched? They watched the TV version of Martian Chronicles just lately. You'll be hearing this. It happened a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So
you're making. I thought you were telling a weird joke.
No, because we're going to do the Venus Chronicles. So
what?
See?
You know what's funny about Venus, Tim?
That's where women come from.
It's also rhymes with penis.
Planet jokes.
Yep.
Just jump right to Uranus. Get it over with.
No. I like to say Uranus.
Okay.
Because it ties in with penises. Yep.
Ooh,
we're a good podcast. Yeah.
That was good. Where were we? Oh.
So after that, yeah.
Oh, after that, we get the weird pill guy. She takes a shower, see her topless again. And there's a weird guy.
We're skipping a bunch.
Do we have to talk about it?
Well, it's just important. That's when she does her dancing.
Is that where that happens?
Yeah, well, she does it twice. Her and Winston go dancing because Winston has professed his love for her.
In the raining?
And she's kind of maybe dating in the rain thing, and she dances.
I think that's later after they win, but...
Oh, no, this is the first time. This is when she's a terrible dancer and just wipes out.
Oh.
And she's like, she says, I've never been with another man before, not even to dance with. Yeah, and she asks him to go swimming. He's like, nah. And that's probably true because remember, that's her speaking. She got together with John Derek when she was 16. So gross. Oof. So she goes swimming anyway in this interior pool, and she's talking to the ghost, and she's asking him to kiss her. And there's a line that pays off later. She goes, if you kiss me, it makes bells ring. And we see this face watching her. She's naked, right?
In the pool?
No, in the pool at first she's not naked.
Okay.
But a guy's watching and goes, broad's a fucking fruitcake.
That's right. There's another
Anthony
guy.
Quinn's like,
where you can't see him.
Just like the top part of his face.
Anthony Quinn, again, doesn't know there's another man there.
No, and also then he goes, because he has to be missing for the next scene, he goes, I'm going to go check on some friends. Did you catch that?
Yes.
I'm like, wait, have you had this ability? First off, this entire movie has had a cast of 6 people so far. You have friends? And
and Julie Newmar disappeared.
Julie Newmar they only had her for 15 minutes. They had to film all her. She's like, I'm a busy woman. Anthony Quinn is hotboxing me in his closet. You gotta film me. She only gave him a few shots. Miss Newmar, we haven't even attached wings to you. She goes, put them on my fucking wrist. Right. I got to get out of here. I got to pick up my kids.
That's probably what happened.
So then we see Bo Derek showering. Tim, did you notice she was naked?
Yeah, topless, I think.
No, she was completely naked.
Okay.
You can see everything. You can see her butt. You can see her boobs. You can see her front butt.
There's some creepy guy in there with a gun, and she goes,
I think it was the same guy who was saying broad's a fucking fruitcake.
I didn't notice. That I didn't notice.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Probably because they only had 6 actors.
But she's like, I guess I'm in trouble. And she runs out and stumbles into the pool.
She's like, you're lost. This is the girls' room. He's like, yeah. She goes, oh, wait, you're just where you want to be. And he nods. She goes, you're not lost, and I'm in trouble.
Yes.
And they're it's like the threat of sexual assault is hanging low and heavy.
Everywhere.
And it's awful. It is. In this movie, you're right. It's throughout. And this scene is especially uncomfortable. She runs out in the pool naked, jumps in, and he pulls out a fucking gun.
And she could have run away. I'm just saying, he just walks. She just jumps in the pool. She could have run around the pool and left.
She doesn't know he has a gun yet.
I thought
it's not until she's back in the pool naked that he pulls out a gun. And I wrote, assassin. I just want to point out to everybody, this guy apparently works for the fucking orange piece of shit.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's nice to know we've known what sort of the caliber of this guy since like 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And he shoots at her, misses.
Yeah. He wants her to eat these 2 pills because they're going to knock her out. And because Anthony Quinn is like, oh, they want you to eat the pills so you fall asleep through the important meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the whole plan. He's not an assassin. He's not going to kill her. He's going to make her take 2 pills so she falls asleep. Anthony Quinn comes running back when he hears the gun from his friends, his quote-unquote friends he was checking on. Do you think he was listening to an episode of Bat and Spider?
Probably.
He fell asleep here at the bang.
That's what you have to do in purgatory. Listen to Bat and Spider.
I want to talk about the pills, though.
Yes.
I like that. That's so... Quinn's like telling her, like, she's having this whole conversation. This guy's got the gun. He's like, take the pills. She's like, I can't take the pills, but she's yelling to someone else, which is Anthony Quinn. And Quinn's like, tell her to just pretend to take the pills, because she's apparently a moron who can't think of that. She's like, that old trick won't work. And so the guy gives her the pills. She pulls him into the pool.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to give them to you like a suppository.
Ugh.
And the next scene is her sitting on the bed with her butt up in the air.
Yeah. Strange
and
editing.
she's all struggling to sleep. Well, because he shoved them up her butt.
I didn't even get that. I thought it was a joke, but then she accidentally swallowed them. I wasn't sure what happened. No, I think
that's the joke that I'll give him to like a suppository. She pulls him in the water and he goes, I'm going to give him to like, and
I didn't get that.
That's where her butt's up in the air.
Wow,
Tim.
that was a joke.
Tim, he put pills up her butthole.
Oof. That's a joke.
And then the next bit is just like, it's Quinn trying to keep her awake and she's like,
awake. Stay awake. That's her Quinn. Go to that meeting. No, that's like Sean Connery. If I could do it.
That was Sean Connery. You know what? Sean Connery could have just easily played this role.
Yeah.
And like she's standing up in the bed and like putting coat hangers and vents. And like I feel like what really happened is I think John Derek really shoved pills up Bo Derek's butt and says, just film it. We're going to see what happens.
Oof.
Yep.
So we don't see much of this meeting. She just comes out and she's like, I did it. I beat them, right?
Well,
Winston.
No, we see the meeting again. And she's there with the orange piece of shit.
Oh,
she's like, and she beats him in negotiating. She's like, I read your book. And I'm like, so wait, this human pig set this guy over to drug her so she wouldn't miss a meeting? Like that's the part he agreed to do. He's like, yeah, it's good for my image. Winston shows up late because presumably a guy shoved pills up his butt too.
Yes,
and he didn't have Anthony Quinn to keep him awake. And
she's just like, I won. I beat them. He's like, this is when he's again like, I love you. I always loved you.
Oh, this is when he is. You're right. Yeah.
And she just says...
And Quinn's like, you say no loud and clear. She goes, you love me? I never knew. Then in a scene that made me sweat nervously, she's flying a plane and like...
Right. She flies planes.
Winston's filming her and like being all flirty and like... So I guess at this point...
She's like a superhero. She flies a plane, boats.
It's an invisible plane, yeah.
There's a train later.
There's a train, yeah. What else? How is that like a superhero train? Did you get confused with your analogy halfway through that?
Yes. I guess so. She's like a spy. I don't know.
So from here on in for a bit, it seems like her and Winston are dating.
Seems like it.
But Quinn is still hanging around.
Is that because the dancing? This is the other dancing scene. They're like in a rainy bar on a barge or something. I don't know because
now they're back. Now they're back on that island again.
And she's dancing just like a kind of a drunk lady, and all the men are like, "Oh my god." I'm being mesmerized.
Now, to be fair, she is Bo Derek and she's wet and it's very see-through. But you're right, she's not dancing good. But we're supposed to think she's dancing good. But like, yeah, she's definitely doing drunk white girl dance. Like if you've ever been to a wedding, you've seen this exact dance.
There's a priest who's like he goes insane. He's like, you got to stop dancing. The devil's in you.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure. Well, first there's also letting up to the moment, Anthony Quinn, he goes, you're dancing better than anyone, even that kid with one glove. Anthony Quinn. We're calling Michael Jackson the kid with one glove in 1989?
I know. I heard that.
You're that out of touch? And suddenly we see there's this priest there for no reason, and Fausto is there,
He's
and they're
everywhere.
just watching her.
Fausto shows up everywhere.
That guy's just like a cockroach.
Yes.
And she dumps water on her, which I think is supposed to look sexy, but honestly it looks like she screws up.
Well, it was like Flashdance. I think that was a joke.
It was like Flashdance, yeah. Again, topical. And then the priest flips out. He goes, "Stop this. In God's name, I command you to stop. The devil is in her.
Yep.
She's desecrating the Sabbath." And the mayor goes, "It's Friday." That actually made me laugh out loud. That's the one joke.
Wow.
Which, yeah.
The priest is like, "She's waking up my penis. My penis must always be napping."
And then he knocks it unconscious with a hammer.
He did.
Yeah.
Puts a little pajama hat on it like people wore in 1930s movies.
And it's holding, it's got a little hot water bottle on it. Yeah. We're a good podcast. And then she slow dances with Quinn, who's there, because Quinn realizes she really likes to dance, but it's invisible. So it's just picture a wet Bo Derek in the rain, kind of badly pantomiming, slow dancing with somebody who's not really there.
Right.
It looks really dumb. And I think this is the end of her and Winston dating, because Winston at this point is like, this chick's nuts.
Yes. I thought this was actually going to make the plot more interesting. I thought the priest was going to end up seeing the ghost because he's like, "Oh, the devil's here." You thought so
this
too?
This priest, yeah, I thought he was going to be a character.
No.
There is even a scene later with a priest in it. They don't even have the same priest.
Yep.
It's like they just like were like, yeah, let's just have this weird priest freak out. And she calms him down, and he like buries his face in her boobs, and like he's okay.
He looks her. He checks her out up and down when he's like, "Hey, stop."
He goes, "You're a little bit older than I normally go for, but wow, this is a controversial episode."
It is.
Controversial episode of Seddy Bimco.
Well, I assume Bo wanted to make it because it's her husband director. I don't know about their relationship.
He did Bolero and he did Tarzan the Ape Man. They did a lot of movies together, and they're all very much like Bo's naked and this guy that she's with can't get a boner. Yeah, there's a lot that we're learning
going
about
on here.
A lot there, yeah. Now there's two women on a train talking about her. We have no idea who they are.
Did you see the name of the train though?
No.
The name of the train was Katie. I swear to you. I didn't know if they named her that because they filmed the train first. I don't know.
Do you think it's that this private island they're on? He built a train for her.
Maybe he built a train for her.
So they pull up. The train pulls up. Bo arrives on an elephant. Then the women that were on the train, Win, some kids, and Fausto were playing baseball on the beach. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. I think this is where the angel shows up, because I have a note here that the angel says they can only occupy a body at the moment of death.
It's actually not the angel. It's weirder.
What?
One of the women, who we learn her name is Sabine.
She says she's a white witch.
Yeah, Quinn asks her out of nowhere. We've never seen this character before. Quinn asks Bo to ask her if she knows about possession, and she goes, "Well, I'm a white witch."
And everybody's like, "Oh, you are? That's good.
Yeah.
We need to know
that's
stuff."
Good. Yeah. Yes. So she says, "Yeah, you can." She goes, "You do realize possession can only occur at the moment of death, right? How are you thinking of killing Fausto?" Because she's already met Fausto and was like, "Yeah, that guy needs to die." And they're like, "Rat poison." She's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I don't know, if you kill someone with rat poison, and then you immediately possess them when they're dead, wouldn't it be what you kill them still be affecting them?
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
This whole idea is crazy. I don't think it's true.
Now,
because Mitch McConnell's been dead for 10 years. No ghost has possessed him. Huh?
No ghost wants to.
But that was funny. They're just like, "We're white witches," and she's like, "Oh,
okay, yeah, just take it like no problem." I mean, she is talking to a ghost this whole time.
Yeah.
Now Winston is kissing Sabine, so I guess he's moved on from Bo because he's like,
"Who's Sabine?"
Bo's not the white witch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have said that.
I forgot their names.
Then Bo's giving Fausto a drink of rat poison and mango that she's oddly narrating, and realize it's just her planning. But I'll tell you what, she's naked again. Yeah.
And she can't give him the poison.
Well, because then it turns out he's really there and he's overheard parts of this. She was imagining this.
Is this when he comes in and looks at... Oh, he sets off the alarm. Yeah.
Sets off a weird alarm in the house. And Sabine and Winston hear this on the beach and begin the slowest race up to the house to save her. And
things keep happening, like the bridge falls down.
Yeah, bridge falls down. Sabine takes a brief nap. Wynn accidentally turns on an episode of Bat and Spider, and they both are knocked unconscious.
They save a puppy.
They save a puppy. Then they drop the puppy.
Yes.
Then they get the puppy again, and now it's a cat. And they're like, "That's a continuity error." It was a lot of stuff. Anthony Quinn's like, "You got to kill him," and he goes, "Take the gun." And she pulls out the gun, and she can't shoot him again because I guess they did. But if you shoot him,
yeah, that's right.
He'd still be dead. And then she knocks him unconscious, and then she has a club, and she can't kill him with the club either.
But she does knock him out. Did you get the bad edit? I didn't see her hit him.
Yeah. I don't know either. It was just bad. And then, but he's unconscious, and Wynn and Sabine are very slowly still coming, and she's got the poison. She can't poison him either. So I'm like, Bo is bad at things, and Anthony Quinn seems to agree. He just is like, that's it. I'm leaving.
But she refused to murder someone. So that's like, I guess she's got some morals.
Also, she's got some morals, which you shouldn't really be mad at her. Also, like, as we said, like, logically, if you shoot the guy, you'll possess him, be like, oh, I'm still dead because I have a hole in my head too.
Yeah.
If you club him, same problem. Poison, same thing. So, like, yeah, maybe she's not killing this guy because she wants you to come back in his body.
It's a very precarious plan.
Yeah. So finally, Wynn and Sabine arrive there, and they're like, why did you hit him? And the mayor is like, he was a very bad boy. I will arrest him.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, shit, those two are in cahoots.
Like, no trial.
And Bo is super sad because Quinn has left, and she sticks her head in the pool, and she goes, he has my heart. Yeah. How could I live without a heart?
Yeah, it seemed like his time was up, I thought. I was like, oh, I'm gone.
Well, he had said he was leaving her because he was mad.
Oh, okay.
And she can't hear him, and that's the first time. And he's hanging out with Julie Newmar.
He's hanging out with his friends.
And he's like, can I talk to God, man to man? And she's like, Julie Newmar is like, listen, you sexist piece of shit. I have to tell you something important. You have one foot in hell. If you keep inciting violence, you're going to end up in a fiery pit. Yep. He's like, oh, I can't tell her to kill anymore. But it's okay because Bo's got it handled.
Not really.
She's back on the island. Yeah, kind of. She's talking. She's like, I'm going to go kill Fausto in jail.
Yeah, like, come on. You had a chance.
And like, she goes to jail, and she's like, where's Fausto?
It's another island, by the way. She flies a plane again, drives a train, gets in a boat.
She grabs a boat. Oh, a boat. Yeah. Okay, you're just it's Taba's obsession with travel. She gets there, and the guard's like, he's not here. He's with the mayor. And she's like, why is he with the mayor? Because they're in cahoots. Mm-hmm. She's racing to the mayor, who's doing some weird shtick where he's trying to massage a woman out of her bra. And she confronts him about working with Fausto. And I love this part. She goes, I'm going to ask you one more time, then we're going to beat you up. Like, that's the best threat. That's the. This guy seems like he'd enjoy being beaten up.
He kept being like, oh, like,
yeah. And in order to get any sort of like conflict or sense of moral gray out of the way, as this is happening, this woman runs up. There's a strange man diving in the pearl beds.
And she's like,
and like,
I think I know who that is.
It's got to be Fausto for some inexplicable reason. She races out there with Wynn, and Fausto is drowned. He just drowned. He just
got caught in the
diving,
nets.
Got stuck in a net. And Wynn and Bo get him, and they bring up he's dead. And Julie Newmar is talking to Anthony Quinn. She's like, time you come with me. I got to get out of this movie. But Bo's giving Fausto mouth to mouth, and his body comes back, and Anthony Quinn fades away in heaven. And Julie Newmar's all mad. She's like, you're the most willful. And then Fausto wakes up.
Anthony Quinn's voice.
Yes, it's amazing. And so, yay.
Which is not how it's supposed to work. She brought him back to life, and he got possessed. He didn't just die. It was no sense.
Well,
he was.
That's a good point.
She came back. She revived him, and I don't know.
They did find the one way that you could die and be brought back, and you wouldn't be like, you shoot him, he's fucked.
Yeah,
you bleed his head, and he's fucked. So like, I don't know. So now, yeah, Fausto was Anthony Quinn. They get married. They have these weird outfits on. There's this weird priest. It's not the priest from before, because that guy was apparently a real problem. Then they're back in Wyoming. They're fucking in a barn.
That's bad.
You're billionaires.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So, George, why would they make love in the barn?
Because that's the only set they had?
Well, the house still smelled like a gross 74-year-old man.
Nice, Tim. Wait, is that a list, or is that just a joke?
Oh, well, also, one of Katie's turn-ons is having chickens watch her make love. And one of Scott's, Fausto's, he's Scott. One of Scott's turn-ons is having chickens applaud him after he makes love to Katie.
How do chickens applaud? Can you do an imitation of that for our listening
Anthony
audience?
Quinn makes it happen.
Oh, Anthony Quinn does. Anthony Quinn was.
Now
we didn't
Fausto.
mention this. He was locked in a room with a bunch of chickens the whole time. And he starts clapping them together.
And that was terrible.
Now, this is the part I want to read to you from Wikipedia that, as near as I could tell, is not any part of the movie.
Okay.
All right. This is the
there was some odd cuts.
You and I recently decided that we would maybe use Wikipedia as a way of like keeping us on track for plot purposes.
Okay.
But it immediately went off the rails.
I immediately gave it up after one episode.
Yeah, it doesn't work because here's why. Here's the description as it appears in Wikipedia. Katie has sex multiple times with Fausto while steeling herself to murder him. But the more intimate they become, the more difficult Katie finds the idea of killing him.
Oh.
Scott grows impatient that she keeps putting up the murder and questions if she has fallen in love with Fausto. However, while on a snorkeling trip with Katie, Fausto is caught in a fishing net underwater and accidentally drowns. In an apparent contradiction, Scott is unable to possess Fausto's dead body. Katie revives Fausto with CPR, and Scott is able to possess the now living body. Kate, Mary, whatever. So,
yeah, there must have
do
been.
you think there is a cut where that actually happens?
There might be a cut with a lot more sex. Yeah,
I don't think so. Kind of. I couldn't find any mention. I spent a lot of time researching this last night. I feel like the person who wrote this for Wikipedia didn't really watch this movie.
That could be.
I think they kind of scrubbed through on YouTube looking for the spikes where it says most people watch this bit. So they watched all the naked scenes with what's her face? Bo Derek. And they were like, okay, if I were making this movie, yeah, of course she would have sex with this guy a few times. And then they would, like, she doesn't realize she's going to kill him in jail.
So
like, it's
because he's the only person that watched the movie. That's what happened. No one else watched
Tim,
this movie.
You and I are the only people watch this movie. And now it's up to us. We have two great wrongs to correct on Wikipedia.
Yes.
One is a more accurate description of what happens in the movie Ghost Can't Do It. And two, we need to restore to its former glory your Wikipedia page. Yes.
Well, here's the part of the show where I like to say how these movies we watch are like Star Wars.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, George, you remember when Obi-Wan spoke to Luke after he was killed by Darth Vader and he was like a ghostly voice?
This makes so much sense. Yes.
So,
run, Luke, run.
Similarly, there's some, if you remember, he instructed Luke to stay away from Biggs Darklighter as he felt he was trying to romance him. That's all. He just said, stay away from him. He's trying to romance you. Stick with Leia. Oddly enough, didn't tell him about Leia.
I just got lost picturing Biggs Darklighter and his sexy mustache just seducing the fuck out of Luke.
Could have happened.
So I like to, in contrast to your constant mentioning of Star Wars, I like to mention how this is like 1986, which I can't believe that movie came out before this piece of shit. Labyrinth. Labyrinth contains a disgusting, lumpy monster, and so does this one called Donald Trump. The end.
I thought you were going to say his name.
I had to at the end.
Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, I'll find you. I'll get you.
Revenge.
I'll get you. Want me to do my revenge first?
Yeah. How long is it, Tim? Like, in all honesty.
It's like 3 paragraphs or something.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. All right, go. I don't know. Sometimes you're like, it's not long. And then it's like, I wake up 6 hours later, you're still talking.
You get impatient. It's like 5 minutes, maybe.
That's too long. All right, go on.
Well, when the Council of Ghosts find out that a ghost possessed a body without permission, they gathered around to find out what went wrong. Yeah?
Is the Council of Ghosts like the Council of Elders on Krypton?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
They're all white.
So,
there's translucent.
Okay.
The council is made up of the Ghost Avengers, George. You're going to like this.
Oh, the Ghost Avengers.
They're made up of 3 powerful spirits. You got your ghost...
Dr. Druid?
You got your ghost dad, portrayed by Bill Cosby.
Wow, whoa. Don't take a drink from that guy.
You got Patrick Swayze's character from Ghost, known as Sam Wheat, not the ghost of Patrick Swayze, R.I.P.
Oh, yeah, because, it's his actual character, not the actual Patrick Swayze. Okay, I like this.
And Slimer.
And, Slimer.
So
this really, this is, Tim.
What? You're
Kudos
excited?
Picking, I am. You've actually told the story, but I'm excited to see where this goes.
So
now you're probably going to mention some old 1950s TV show. I'm going to go to sleep, but let's see.
We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
So it's against all the rules of gods and spirits to possess a person who just died. So they go to see Julie Newmar, Angel. I don't know what her name was. Did she have a name?
She was in the credits. I looked. She was just called Angel.
She said she doesn't know how this happened. She doesn't feel well. She might be suffering from angel flu. And they see she has wings growing out of her hands. They realize, yes, wait. You do have angel flu. Something strange is going on.
Get an X.
So they look into this, and they also see that Mr. Fausto, he was such a hollowed out meathead with a potato in his pants that he was very susceptible to possession by ghosts. But,
does he literally have a potato in his pants?
Yes.
Or is that your term for it? Because he fills out that banana hammock adequately. Yeah.
So they band together. They go to rectify this. They go to haunt, Scott and Katie. haunt them into giving up Fausto's body. Have his spirit come back to purgatory is what I'm trying to say. They go to haunt Fausto and Katie. No, it's Scott. They go to haunt Scott and Katie. I want to make sure I make sense. So he'll give up the body. So first, Ghost Dad, he knew how to put pills in their drink to make them pass out and fall over and hurt themselves. He didn't do anything bad.
That's true.
He didn't do anything sexual. He's not.
Do you think
Ghost Dad
actually? Do you think Ghost Dad trained Pill Guy from the movie?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he stuck it up the butt. Oh, that's my Bill Cosby imitation.
Oh, wow. And Sam Swayze, he teaches Katie how to make ugly mugs out of clay that annoy Scott Fausto.
Then he keeps possessing Whoopi Goldberg and making out with her voraciously. Yeah.
And Slimer, he slimed all of Katie's clothes so it looked like she was wearing a wet t-shirt.
Nice.
It's creepy.
Way to go, Slimer, yeah.
So Katie and Fausto, they realize they're being haunted. So they call that priest they met in the movie who seemed to think the devil was in Katie. They fly him in to exorcise the house. But you know what happens? Sam Swayze Ghost, he teaches him how to make the Jesus mug. Ghost Dad Ghost, he pours spiked drink into his mug that makes him fall over. And Slimer slimes Katie, so it looks like she's wearing a wet t-shirt.
Wait, Slimer.
Slimer.
I think you have
Sorry.
Slimer as a king. Slimer, you're dirty.
Priest eventually wakes up and runs away.
Okay, as he should.
So they call that lady from Poltergeist. Tanya Barons, I think her name was.
Wait, really?
Tanya?
You're talking the little tiny lady?
I looked up her name.
Her
it's
name is
Tangina Barons in Poltergeist.
Okay, it doesn't sound like what I remember, but
she feels the spirit of Sam Patrick Swayze coming her way, and she says, "Yes, all are welcome, because he's really hot."
Oh my God! I just realized that's a new voice for you.
Yeah,
you're doing a Zelda Rubinstein impersonation.
All are welcome. I can't.
All are welcome. Does she? Oh, Tim, she's a little person. Does she hang herself?
No.
Okay, good.
And she shows Sam how to make a large pot with a lid and a nice flower design on the side, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And Ghost Dad gives her a spiked drink, and she throws it in his face, causing him to pass out.
Nice.
And Slimer slimes Katie, so it looks like she has a wet t-shirt.
I saw that coming.
Eventually, Scott says he should just leave Fausto's
body.
body.
No way this is 3 paragraphs. There's no way this is only 3 paragraphs.
Scott says he should just leave Fausto's body and give it back so that Katie can live in peace. They're not going to give up till he does it. So he leaves Fausto's body, but not before he uses his great wealth to get in touch with the Golden Turd's son, called Eric Trump, and he becomes...
He's golden, huh? Not just orange. He's really moving up in the world.
He becomes best friends with Eric Trump, so that when he leaves his body, Fausto is stuck with Eric Trump as his best friend, which means he's basically locked in Eric's basement. So, the end.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Tim, that was a much better... All right, I got my story. You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, I hope I did my music.
Well,
start your music.
All right, here's my music. Okay. So mine also takes place shortly after the movie. After they've been in Fausto's body, Anthony Quinn and Beau have been doing the deed, and they finally he's so badly chafed on the penis they have to take a break. It's just it's rubbed raw. And while they're sitting there, she's like, what was really fucked up? And he's like, "What's that, my love?" And she goes, that orange lumpy piece of shit sent a fucking hitman after me who chased me naked into a pool and shoved pills up my ass. All in an attempt to make me miss a meeting. Yep. Anthony Quinn's like, "Yeah, that happened." She's like, "I think we need to take revenge on him."
Same thing.
So she's
going to beat him up real bad?
Oh, well, I mean, that was her first suggestion. She goes, "Yeah, I'm pretty good." And Anthony Quinn's like, "I have a better idea. I'm in a body he doesn't even recognize."
Oh, yeah.
So they fly to a certain gilded fucking skyscraper in New York City, and wearing the clothes of a, let's say, toilet repairman, he sneaks it. He doesn't even sneak in. He walks right into this man's office because this man has a solid gold toilet. And he's like, "I'm here to fix the toilet." Oh. And the man's sitting there eating a well done steak because he's a fucking pig
with ketchup.
And then with ketchup, and when he sneaks it, Anthony Quinn walks behind him and then attacks him. Beats him to the ground, whisks his pants around his ankles, shoves 3 pills up. He's up his anus. He's immediately knocked unconscious.
Okay.
And together the two of them airlift him out a window. Weeks perhaps.
Is she flying a helicopter? She can also fly a helicopter.
Of course she is. She's a pilot. I don't even think it needs to be said, Tim.
She's a superhero.
Yeah, she can do everything because Then we wake up and we're in some sort of subterranean fortress somewhere.
Oh, right.
After all, remember, Fausto had the equivalent of $5 billion.
True.
And we see, and there's this sweating little pig man, a disgusting example of humanity.
Oh, no.
And he's sitting there with his fucking orange skin and his stupid hair, and he's completely naked in a cage that's set above a pit of lava.
It's getting dark.
Something like you might see. Oh, it's going to be dark, my friend. Something like you might see in that scene in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, okay.
And the heat is just shy of unbearable. And slowly, over the course of weeks, that fucking fat orange pig man is being cooked alive. They gave him just enough water to stay alive. And he's in a semi-conscious state, constant pain, as he's being literally cooked alive. And they feed him just enough meat to keep him going.
Without ketchup.
And it's not until no ketchup. He gets no ketchup. It's not until several weeks have passed, in a moment of comparative clarity, that monstrous excuse for a human being realizes what they've been feeding him is slices of his own body.
Oof, it's like a Stephen King novel.
Oh man, it sure is. It's like that one where the guy crashes on the boat with all the cocaine and eats his legs.
Yes.
Yeah, they keep just feeding him bits of his own cooked flesh. Constant agony the whole time. Every once in a while, Bo comes in and just pisses on his face, but he likes that too much. So she changes it and she just shits on him.
Okay.
Just fucking shits on him as they're slowly feeding him bits and bits, until eventually, after years of agonizing pain, he is not but a face and a digestive tract, constantly regurgitating and eating his own duke.
Wow.
Yeah, and then finally, at the end, finally they grab him. They grab the end of his intestines, swing his head around like it's on a bolo, and throw it into an elephant's ass where it slowly suffocates.
The end?
The end. And this is a better universe for
this is
everyone.
just your fantasy.
Then, because then actually you pan over, and it's 2025 in Brooklyn. And there's New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor. He's cracking open a bottle of whiskey. And he pours a little bit over some whiskey stones. He holds up the glass, winks at Bo Derek, and goes, "Well done, lady. Well done." And drinks it and sleeps the sleep of the just. The end. Yep, my best story ever.
What's that movie called?
Tim,
at least it wasn't
that movie.
He didn't turn into a Marvel villain? DC villain?
No. Maybe he became Mr. Mind, the worm that fought Shazam. The movie was called Sound the Trumpets.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Best episode ever. All right.
Did you know
Tim,
how Slimer was made, by the way?
I know that.
Does everybody know this story?
That it was originally it was a John Belushi ghost.
That's what. Yeah.
Because originally Dan Aykroyd wrote that movie with John Belushi in mind, but John Belushi was all dead by that point. So they called him the Onion Ghost, but he was meant to look like John Belushi because John Belushi would famously slime Bill Murray whenever he saw him. But the slime, it was jizz.
But what Wikipedia says.
That
they interfered the whole time he was designing it, like give it bigger ears, give it bigger nose. The day before the deadline, his name is Johnson. He was the special effects guy. He learned that Aykroyd and Ramis wanted Slimer to be an homage to Belushi. So with that information, says he took 3 grams of cocaine, believed that Belushi's ghost was visiting him to provide encouragement, and during that episode, he sculpted the final Slimer design. That's what it says in Wikipedia.
Wow, that's great.
Ties in with our movie.
I love it. Tim, do we have any mail?
Nope. I just looked. No mail. It's too much last week. Too much.
We had a lot of mail last week.
We have so few states left. And we're almost done. There's what?
What's the next movie, Tim? Because it's
4 states.
4 states and then England.
I chose Rhode Island, and I'm surprised you didn't see this and pick it. It's a very homemade movie in Rhode Island called Die You Zombie Bastards. It's on YouTube. It's
I've heard of this movie.
Very homemade movie.
Yes. That's awesome.
Oh, you're excited. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, depends. What year is it?
It's like, was it 2005?
I feel good about it. If it was like 2005, yeah.
Okay.
This looks good, Tim.
It doesn't look, it looks interesting. I didn't look at too much.
What's exciting about this? Pretty good chance that the creators are going to be
alive
and listening.
They're alive.
Do you think it has nude scenes?
Come and watch. Come and listen, creators. All are welcome. I forget what she sounds like. I got to go back. Just remember her line.
It's pretty good.
That's not sound like her.
This house is sick. Is that what she says? No.
Something like that.
I think she goes, this house is clean.
Yes.
Just don't listen to Bat and Spider. They're sick.
All right.
That
was good. That was great. That was amazing.
It was a great episode. I can't wait to watch Die, You Zombie Bastards.
Come next week. And show up next week. And don't give up. We'll see you then.
Don't give up. Keep fighting. Remember, at least you're not imprisoned eating bits of yourself.
This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line. It's a party line.
I mean, he's a Wookiee. We don't know what they got.
We don't know.
They might lay eggs.
We don't know.
Tim, what if Wookiees lay eggs?
They may lay eggs.
What if they bud?
They might have those pronged penises at ducks. Does ducks have those? Who has the pronged ones? I forget.
Cats, right? Ducks have corkscrew penises.
Corkscrew. Yeah,
Welcome to the new segment of Seddy Bimco where we discuss the various penile shapes of different animals.
Corkscrew. That's what Eric Trump has, I think.